Hello and welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. This is going to be a 1v1 game on the map Twisted Meadows 1.1, and this is going to be on the BattleNet solo ladder, and I think I knew that he was human. Let me see, yeah. So he's human, I'm random, and I'm going to do a strategy, at least in terms of hero choice, that I typically sort of stick with, or at least lately I've been sticking with in the human mirror match. And if you've been watching any of these audios, you may know that that's going to be the Pit Lord first. Now this is a map where a lot of humans like to do sort of the really sort of aggressive-ish creep route. If they do this properly, it's actually really pretty difficult to punish them for it. As Elf, I probably have more tools to potentially punish them for this than other races because I can detonate. Though if you start throwing like 2-3 wisps to detonate over there, it is going to hurt you in terms of your lumber income. And you have to like send them all the way across the map, which also is lost mining time. So you, like I said, you really will throw yourself back in terms of the tech times and stuff. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do a Tyrant Hero build. I'm gonna go Pit Lord, and I'm going to scout with a Wisp when my second Moonwell started, so I can sort of get that second Moonwell, more or less at a really good, decent timing, right? Because I want to continue to produce archers. I didn't build this Ancient War near like a camp, which is probably technically a mistake. If you build it out of your base, it is a little bit risky, right? It's sort of further away, so it sort of spreads you out. The opponent could be like super aggro and rush you with footies. They could try to tower rush your main base. So depending on where you build it and what camps you're thinking about Ancient War creeping, they could do this one, you could do this one, you could do it here. Technically, you could probably do here if you wanted to. Some people I've seen do the shops. You can do it there. But anyways, I just build the first one in the main base. I'm going to play a little bit conservative. I'm going to be harassing. So, but I am eventually, like I said here, I'm going to build a second Ancient War at this Merc camp. So, but yeah, he did this really actually pretty clean. He had a footy run up and aggro the camp, dragged them over here. The Troll Shadow Priest sort of stayed behind, and was like healing himself or whatever, casting Inner Fire. So he killed that first. He tanked when they came back. He put a Water Elemental between the Militia, the Footies, and the Creeps, and they end up just aggroing right onto the Water Elemental. So the Water Elemental tanks all the damage, or takes a bunch of the damage. I come in here and I pick Rain of Fire because I can cast Rain of Fire if he walls his base. I can still cast it from out here and hit stuff. So I've done a lot of damage. I was quite a nice amount of damage on his heroes. He didn't react super quick. And let me look and see from his perspective. Did he see me peel? He should have known. He doesn't. He sees like all the way up here from his vision, and he doesn't see the Pit Lord. Like, what does he think my Pit Lord's like up here? Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, but I don't know if he saw me peeling over here, like this little sneaky Pit Lord. Let's see. Oh no, he did get the vision of him for a second, so he should have. Like I said, he should have. What's he assuming? I'm just going to run this way, and I don't know what he assumes if he noticed. And he also leaves his footy behind. So he did things pretty clean until this. He loses a footy for no reason. He's going to send this footy around. I guess he maybe wants to try to path or something, or just mind my base. He scouted this one, so I'm going to run. And this is what I wanted to happen. And this is why I ran around this way with the Pit Lord. And this is something like people, if they're doing, whatever strategy, these are little decisions that they can be made. Where, like, I know if he keeps chasing these archers, which he seemed like he wanted to, he's going to leave himself way open here. If he leaves his base, this hole open in his base, it's going to be a real disaster. But even if he doesn't, I can stand here and cast Rain of Fire, at least have his gold line workers get off for a minute. But if I get in there, this Pit Lord is full health, right? And he had plenty of mana. He's still got 65 mana, 66 to get, another Rain of Fire. Look at these workers. Boom, boom. These are damaged workers. Now, the reason in the human mirror match, there are definitely a lot more different factors that sort of play into whether or not this is a good first hero, right? And or play style to do in the human mirror match. I should have probably kept chasing to get these last hits. But he's going to be able to slip out, probably. But if I was human, I would just have footies. Like, I would just keep cranking footies, and I would be less concerned about them tanking damage from the militia. Whereas the archers have to be much more cautious with them around militia and footies and stuff. So I don't really want to bring them into the mix. But having a couple archers out here would have been, if I could just shadow meld like one or two here, wait for this, that would have been also actually even better. But I didn't, so as it is. But anyways, he sort of smartly builds his farm, but the problem with this is I have so much health and a decent amount of mana that if he doesn't sink us around, this is going to really, really disrupt his economy. Look, no workers getting gold, a bunch of workers not getting lumber. He's basically on 0 gold income and 0 lumber income. If he doesn't sink this around, which he's doing a pretty poor job of doing it looks like. And now I have enough mana for a Rain of Fire, so I pull back into this cubby, and he probably thinks, oh, yes, I got this round. And he's like, uh-oh. If he holds this around, I have so much health. It's not like an Archmage or something. This Spitlord has like 750 health at full, right? So he's nearly, it's not really double the Archmage, because double would be like 950, but like it is, what did I say, 475 to 750. It's nearly 300. It's like 275 something. 275 more health. I go ahead and detonate on the water element on the hero, 2 or 3 wisps. That's actually quite painful, and a lot of times you don't like to do that, but it does knock his mana pool down. And I don't have my hero there, so I'm like, I've already basically made the decision, also, by the way, to just let this hero die. I could have danced around probably a little bit more, and he was actually pulling some damaged workers in there, so that, dancing around, like I said, let me look at, he's at 10,520 on his gold. I'm in 9750, so 250 plus 520 is like 770. He's 770 gold behind me right now from all this stuff. Now, I lost my hero, granted, so that's a good chunk of experience, but he's level 1. So I want to be able to revive him. That's why I didn't TP, right? He was already quite damaged. Rather than, like, draining all these Moonwells for the health and mainly the mana would have been a big problem. In burning the town portal, I would rather just revive with 100 mana and full health and keep the Moonwells full. So that's another sort of value judgment. Like, is having having all my Moonwells drained and my level 1 hero back here to defend, I don't know, 30 seconds quicker, is it gonna, and also without a town portal, is it gonna be better, or would I rather just have the town portal save the Moonwell juice? Town portal and Moonwell juice in exchange for 170 gold in 30 seconds. Like, the 30 seconds is not going to be a problem, right? There's nothing really much more I need to do in 30 seconds that these archers didn't do already. And I made him TP. So now he doesn't have a TP, and I do have a TP. He almost has no units to creep. There's like 1 damaged footy over here. I have a ton of units to creep, full health. I've got this Ancient of War. I'm going to walk it to the mercenary camp. I need to be repairing it with a wisp. This is pretty sloppy, but it's fine. So I'm repairing it with a ton of wisps, so it's like sort of, I could do it with 2, and then I'll do it. It's ridiculous. But anyways, our levels are basically, I'm going to get actually 3 before him. Like, look at his, now he is teched faster than me, and he's going to build 2 arcane towers, which is going to be quite a lumber cost. He does have a fair amount of lumber, but he doesn't have enough lumber to get a second hero and get like 1 or 2 tier 2 production buildings. So he has sustained, and look, he's going to get a pretty nice regen scroll here, which is unfortunate that he gets to pull that off. If I would have just immediately, instead of creeping, if I just immediately ran back over there, probably could have stopped that. All right, so that's sort of a different thing that I could have done, but I wouldn't have been level 3, so it's like, I did have a town portal though, so I literally could have just ran to his base and probably would have caught him creeping here, or actually here, and yeah, it would have went pretty well, right? But I wouldn't have been level 3, so, and I wouldn't have had a roar scroll, and I wouldn't have like these 2 mercenaries, so. There's trade-offs. Level 2 cleave is what I went. The roar scroll is actually quite powerful. Level 2 cleave is actually quite amazing as well against clustered footies, militia, and water elementals and blah blah blah. It ignores armor, right? The area coverage is huge. It ignores armor, and as you level, your hero is going to do more damage. So that's going to synergize well with cleave. Alternatively, I could have got level 2 Rain of Fire, which is in burst is better. But then, like, long term, I think, once you run out of mana, it doesn't add value, right? You don't have mana to cast Rain of Fire, you're not going to get value, and you're going to have to sit there channeling for Rain of Fire, whereas you're not channeling for Cleave. Also, Cleave will scale with your hero level damage and items you get. A lot of items, if you attack faster, if you're able to stand in there and swing more, like healing items, or just raw damage items, they're all going to scale up with Cleave. I'm pretty sure. I think that's how it works. Maybe the damage items don't. I'm not 100%, but I know like the attack speed ones are. And, like if you have more armor and you can stand in there, and like I pull everything back a little bit, so like the footies and the militia just sort of end up sort of naturally surrounding the Pit Lord. Go for it, buddy. He's got tons of health. Even at half health, he's like 400. Even at half health, he's nearly as much health as like Actually, literally at half health, he'd be at 525. Half health, he's almost a full health of the Archmage at level 3. Like, now that's with regardless of Ogre String +3, so that's an extra 75 there. So without that item, but I mean, you could definitely have even better items like for more health. So yeah, that's the thing, that the raw stats of the Pit Lord are actually quite amazing. And like I said, even if you had no mana, Cleave is throwing serious damage around, and ignoring armor is actually quite nice. So look at the situation. Like, look at all these bodies, dude. Just like it's a graveyard of his economy right here. And at this point, I'm barely even microing. He went Stormbolt instead of Thunderclap. Thunderclap is his only real way to get me out of the base, and that's just to delay the inevitable. He could have, if he Thunderclaps like perfect, like right in the middle of all these archers and stuff, and he does it twice, like then he's definitely gonna threaten to get a bunch more kills. Especially if he's still at a shop, you just get one more mana potion, one heal potion, one more round of Thunderclap, and that would probably kill all the archers, like almost certainly, right? But he didn't do that. He went Stormbolt, and so I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go in there. He's gonna kill some of these. I'm not even really gonna try to deny them. I don't, it's like the game is over, right? My economy. Let's look at the gold here. 8,400. I'm at 6,600. So 1,600 gold, less than me. His lumber, he doesn't even have anybody harvesting lumber right now. So he does have 347 lumber, so he could make like an Arcane Sanctum or something, but he doesn't have the gold to do it. So, and even if he did, like I said, it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to have enough mana for Rain of Fire. Oh, he's going to turn around. He shouldn't do this. I don't know if it mattered, but he took one more shot. I'm just flex. Boop. It would have been so funny if that Mountain King was a little bit lower, and that would have been a double kill shot. But, I mean, it is still pretty funny to kill a Rain of Fire snipe like that. So, and like I said, it didn't matter. The guy was staying in the game for a little bit longer than, like, it was kind of ridiculous. But, it's if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. It's fine. Maybe I disconnect, right? There's always a chance, right? But with that theory, you could have just literally made me kill all the buildings, I guess. But I don't disconnect a ton. I do get some of these goofy errors, right? Like, my connection is generally pretty stable, but with Reforged, there seems to be a fair amount of, like, just error losses. Like, there was 2 games in a row in 4s. I don't know what was going on, and I haven't actually seen this happen before very much, but, like, my ping, for some reason, cranked up to, like, 4,000. It started out normal. In the middle of the game, it just cranked, like, to crazy numbers, and then it just froze. Like, the game froze and aired me out. And it happened, I rejoined the team, it happened again, right? And then it just knocked me. And I wasn't off, like, I was on Discord at the time. Discord didn't even hiccup. Like, I was still on Discord, everybody was hearing me. My internet connection was fine. I wasn't, like, downloading any Windows updates, or, like, I didn't have any kind of other downloads going, as far as I know. I think I had like a YouTube video that had already loaded up, like a music video or something, but whatever. That had been like loaded up, like, you know, like earlier in the day. Honestly, I just re-listened to it, just some music thing. So yeah, it's like, it's just like, I don't know. But anyways, like, past that stuff, this strategy, I do like the Pit Lord. And sort of the play style. I think it surprises some people. Some people will react actually pretty smartly to it, and it can make it, it sort of makes it challenging for me. Doing it with Elf is different. Like I said, I have done it a fair amount in human versus human, and there's a lot of reasons why I think in that particular matchup it's probably maybe the most, or maybe more consistent than maybe with Elf. But on the flip side, Elf doesn't have like a hero that they, one of their main heroes that cannot heal the Pit Lord, right? Not that they have really a bunch of heroes that heal anyway, but like when you look at the human, the Paladin can't use Holy Light on the Pit Lord, so it's like sort of it's like anti-synergy or whatever. It's like not very good, not a very good combo in some sense. There's no hero like that for Elf, right? It's like all the Elf heroes don't really depend on the Pit Lord being living or dead or anything. It's just, it doesn't matter. Their one healing spell is the Keeper of the Grove's ultimate, which affects everything, including mechanical targets, I think. So, so the Pit Lord is going to be just fine in that situation. So yeah, that's I'm trying to think what else. the moonwells are nice, right? Like that, you just have natural healing. You don't have to buy like a shop technically to get the pit lord healed up and stuff. So that's pretty nice. Uh, but yeah, in terms of like the units that the human is gonna maybe try to fight the elf with, uh, probably maybe rifle caster is a little bit more of a common transition, maybe, or griffins or something. I don't know. It's griffins. I don't like I said. I don't really know. I feel like sort of footies into maybe caster rifle breaker or some kind of mixture of knights. I don't like us like rifle mortar priest or something. Uh, but the other main thing is like you don't have normal damage like unless you get hunts, and getting hunts is very costly. So that's really sort of the problem with the efficiency and sort of the versatility of archers. Also for creeping, right? You can creep if you ancient of war creep. That may be like the argument, like, well, that's how elf creeps efficiently. So that you should, if you're going to be talking about defend creeping and stuff like that, you know, um, then maybe you have to compare it to ancient war creeping, which is fair. But in terms of like other situations where you're like clashing with the opponent, I don't think anything that elf has early game is as efficient as defend is. Now, uh, so yeah, that's just it. Like defend is incredibly efficient against towers. It's incredibly efficient against water elementals, and it's incredibly efficient against any piercing creeps. Right. So those three things are pretty much in every single, maybe not every single, but they're in most human mirror matches. Right. You're gonna have an archmage on the other team very frequently. Um, Maybe not every single game, but very frequently you'll have an archmage on the other team, which means water elementals for a while. If they're going to retrain, it'll be later. So they're early game, you're not going to have to worry about Blizzard probably. And even if you did Blizzard, like you just avoid it, right? That's level 1 Blizzard, like just avoid it, whatever. So, and then surround their hero, right? They go for a channeling, just go for a surround, right? It's pretty good. But anyways, then you're going to have creeps. Like there's almost every single map, most maps have a lot of piercing damage creeps that do a lot of damage. So the relative value defend in those situations is actually quite high, and that's like I said, just about every single map, right, has a fair amount of piercing creeps. Some maps have more than others, so you might say those maps you maybe would prioritize defend a little bit more. And then a lot of times, especially if you're diving their base and stuff like that, like a lot of times what the natural reaction is like, well, wow, just make a couple of towers in my base, and they won't want to do that anymore. Or if like you're facing a lot of heavy pressure, you might think, oh, a couple of towers is going to, they're not really going to run through my base. But if you have like 12 footies with defend full health, and the enemy's base is like really weird to go into or whatever, like or defend out of, right, or whatever, it's defend is going to make those towers much less a burden or much less an obstacle. And then if they want to like, oh well, I make 4 or 5 towers, like, well, okay, then you've made 4 or 5 towers, and I don't actually have to go into your base and fight it. It's like, yeah, maybe going in there is going to be crazy, but you've spent so much lumber and stuff that it's just ridiculous. But anyways, I look through these tabs. This game was pretty straightforward. I thought it was fun. Pretty good strategy. This is going to be ScryMind signing out.